It's intermission time. It's great to get out to the movies.
I am Megan Braun. I didn't even introduce. Did I even tell you my name when you came
No,
in?
no. Now I know. Hi, Megan.
I'm Megan Braun. I always come in really hot.
Please, no other way.
I'm the host. This is the synagogue podcast called Intermission. Okay. And today we have Dito. Can you intro yourself to the listener, who you are, what you do?
Oh, my gosh. My name is Dito. I write a lot because I like to. That's
amazing.
And we have a movie out. Yeah.
And you have a movie out.
Yeah.
So we will get into your movie. We'll do like a deep dive. I watched it this afternoon.
Oh, crazy.
So I'm fresh off the movie.
You are living it. Yeah.
But first we'll do a little get to know you, get to know your film taste. So some other of your films I have here, A Guide to Recognizing Your Saints. That was your first.
Yeah.
In 2006, which has Robert Downey Jr., Shia LaBeouf, Channing Tatum, like pretty crazy actors.
Pretty nuts, yeah.
And then I like go on and I'm like, okay, Son of No One, 2011, Channing Tatum, Al Pacino, Ray Liotta, Katie Holmes, like, and then Empire State, like Liam Hemsworth, Emma Roberts, Jane Johnson, Boulevard, Robin Williams, like. You get crazy actors.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild trip. Yeah,
like that's like so impressive. That's the background of all of your films are like stacked, and then your current film also stacked.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's.
Do you just have like a really good relationship with a casting director?
No, I wish I did. No,
is it you? It's your charisma?
No, it's writing. You know, it's. I think you know. These actors, they're super famous and super great for another reason, you know, and then I think they also, for great reasons or whatever you call it, you know, and I think they also want to do things that they maybe, you know, maybe a little smaller. Look, no one's showing up to my set to get paid, unfortunately, including myself. But I think they just think that there's an opportunity to do something they can be proud of, and so then they show up. It's quite remarkable. Yeah, I'm
That's
kind
sweet.
of always pinching myself when they show up. You know?
Yeah, mutually beneficial.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay, this is a film that may stump you since we didn't really give you a ton of precursor to this podcast, but it's a personal preference. There's no right or wrong answers.
Okay.
But if you had to pick a movie that you think describes your life, like where you're at in life right now, or your life in general, what movie just pops in your head?
Well, my first movie, Guide to Recognize Your Saints, was based on a book I wrote about people I knew. So probably took care of that one.
Yeah, that's pretty easy, huh?
That was not so hard. Yeah.
Good cop out.
I made it a lot more interesting than my life, but yeah.
Okay, wait, I do want to hear about that though. Yeah. So it started as your book and then got made into a film. Like, how did that crossover happen?
Yeah, it's insane. I didn't plan to be in this world at all. I just wrote since I'm a little kid, just because. Well, speaking of hardcore, here you know, I was never
about hardcore music.
Hardcore music, not hardcore in general. No, I was never hardcore movies, not hardcore porn. Speaking of that, no, I just was never talented enough to play other people's songs. So ended up being in a little hardcore band where we had to write our own songs.
Major conflict,
you know, total insanity. You know, 13-year-old kids screaming about garbage. But you know, the fun is then you have to write your own dumb words. So while everybody else was trying to figure out Led Zeppelin's riffs, which I was never going to be talented enough to figure out, we were playing shows already and played shows with the Bad Brains and Reagan Youth and all these great New York hardcore bands and Beastie Boys back when they were a hardcore band.
You played with them?
Yeah, well, we would all do. There was a place called the A7 Club in the 2+2 where there were 7 nights a week. They played until 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. They were, you know, no age. It was just chaos.
Yeah.
So we'd play all the time.
So fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. And so then, if you're gonna do your own horrible songs, you have to write your own horrible words. But it was always an escape for me. So I would always write, and then I started writing, you know, just in a pad. You know, like anybody else, you're drunk and you write something you think is genius and you throw it out in the morning. And it's garbage, you know. And got to 10 pages of this thing, and I remember thinking, how long are books? Because I'm not the most well-read person. And luckily I had Catcher in the Rye, which was only like 210. And I said, okay, well, I'm a 20th of the way there. So ended up writing this book, and I used to work at Tower Records.
Iconic.
Pretty nuts. And this guy I worked with, he was a publisher. So I had moved out here from New York, And not to be in this business at all. I just had nowhere to live, and a guy gave me a job at a music studio, funny enough, that we're in one now, that I could live there and I could work there. So I sent this guy this book that was written in pen, and he put it out, which is insane. And if 10 people read it, I would be shocked at the time. And one of them was Robert Downey, who was recording a record at the studio at the time.
So wild.
And he'd come in and out, and the guy who owned the place was like, hey, you know, so... I mean, it's a crazy version of how it happened. I don't even know. I mean, it was a bunch of weird things that all fell into place. You know, I didn't plan to be doing this stuff. You know?
Yeah, but then now look at you. You're
yeah,
like,
now you get to do it. Yeah.
Is it 5 movies? No,
8 movies. Yeah,
yeah, 8 movies. I just had a couple. 8 movies deep. Like
yeah, it's crazy.
And then also,
I'll take it. Yeah, I've done every horrible job in the world, so this one's a little bit better in that world. It's a little crazier, but yeah. I
what's the
dogs.
worst job?
I sold peanuts on 42nd through 44th and 9th Avenue from the age of 12 to 15 when you're supposed to be in school. And you make no money and you just get all sorts of horrible propositions as a young kid selling
I get that.
cashews, $1.25 a quarter pound. I still remember. That was pretty rough, but I enjoyed it, you know.
Are peanuts tainted for you now?
Cashews, yeah, for sure. That was hell. But yeah, so... But I didn't hate that job. I actually liked it, yeah.
Okay, wait, I also have here that you were a Golden Gloves boxer and even modeled for Calvin Klein and Versace. True?
Wow. Well, I got knocked out in the first round of the Golden Gloves, so that's not... I wouldn't say I'm a I got in. I don't remember being there. But Bruce Weber, who's a photographer, he made a movie called Broken Noses. And my friends were telling me, oh, you know, these guys pay you money to do pictures. And at the time, I would do anything for money because I just needed it. Mm-hmm. And I went to his place, and he took a bunch of pictures, and he used me and a bunch of us to do like a Johnny Versace ad and Calvin Klein and all this stuff. So it was totally bananas. We got $3,000. So, you know.
That's great.
It was a great deal.
Do you have like the photos anywhere? Like
I didn't save
above
anything,
your bed?
but no, I don't. No, nobody wants to see those. Yeah, they won't know who they are. Yeah. No, I don't have them, no.
I also have a note here that you were mentored by Carlos Cuarón. How do you say his last name?
Carlos Cuarón, who wrote Y Tu Mama También.
Yeah, Y Tu Mama También.
Yeah.
And Frank Pearson, Dog Day Afternoon.
Yeah.
How did you come about connecting with them?
Yeah, that
Through
was
Robert?
Yeah, well, indirectly, what's crazy is, I mean, the quick version of the crazy story was that Robert was making a record, and he was just nuts enough to like hang out in the dub room, which is where I worked, and the editor that I've done all my movies with, except the last one, me and him worked in the dub room together, and Robert would come in, and we used to mess around with iMovie because it was free, and they used to do the music. It was a music studio, but they also did the music to like movies like Leprechaun, you know, and things like that. So we'd recut Leprechaun, joking around.
I also haven't thought about iMovie in a long time.
Exactly. This is how long back we're going, you know. And we'd recut Leprechaun, but my friend who was in prison for many years, he used to call me Collect, of course, and not very scrupulous, but I would record him onto a DAT player, and we'd put it into the iMovie, and then we'd start taking images and putting music to it, and Robert would come in and he'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool, we should do a movie. And I remember thinking like, what, you know? And then the crazy version is he brought down Trudy Styler, who's a producer who did Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels at the time. And
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. And I had to take lunch and meet her, and she said, maybe we'll, you know, she read the book and she liked it enough. And she had the guys who wrote a movie at the time called Sexy Beast.
Yeah. I love Sexy Beast.
Yeah, and Ben Kingsley, right? No,
yeah.
right?
Wait, that's so great, yeah.
And they said that they would write a script based on my book. And I didn't know how to ask if I could do it, you know, because I felt like, who am I to have the nerve to ask these people, you know? And my friend Ray, who's my best friend since kindergarten, we still talk. I would call him up and he'd be like, you better just let them do what they want. You don't know what you're doing. So I'd say out to Trudy and Robert, you know, maybe I can get a shot, you know, writing it. And they said, well, as soon as the guys who wrote Sexy Beast do it, if we don't like it, you get a shot. And I'm thinking, of course you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And then Trudy had said, they can't start for 2 months and then we'll do it. So I thought 2 months. So I heard that they liked a script called United States of Leland.
Okay.
So I went and got a hard copy of it, and I copied the way it looked into Microsoft Word with a lot of spacing, you know, before, you know, Movie Magic or whatever you use these days. And I just put my characters into where they had their characters and my streets. But I didn't quite understand it. Like EXT, I thought meant exit, you know?
Oh.
And I remember thinking, why are they exiting a street? But whatever, you know, exit, and I put my street. And then INT, I thought meant introducing. Oh, they're introducing a new street.
I love this.
But then the second time they would introduce it. So Robert, you know, you don't always have this privilege. Robert would come in. I go, hey, can I ask you a question? Why would they introduce a street they already introduced? He's like, that's interior. So that was my first lesson.
I love this.
It was crazy. And then that crazy script that I wrote, which was complete irrational insanity, 160 pages probably of nonsense, got passed around as things sometimes you hear do. And a woman named Leslie Erdang, who I have yet to thank, one day I'll meet her and thank her, passed it on to Michelle Satter, who runs Sundance Labs, and anybody out there who's a writer or a director or an actor should know about the Sundance Labs. It's pretty remarkable. And they called me because my phone number was on it, and said, hey, you know, we do this thing called the Sundance Labs, and I've heard of Sundance Film, but I didn't know about. And I was like, oh, we didn't make the movie. And she's like, oh, no, this is a thing where we bring in writers and we mentor them.
Oh, I actually don't know about this.
Oh, it's the greatest thing in the world.
Okay, cool.
It's unbelievable. It's like Wonkaville for freaking writers. And then I was like, well, how much is it? And she's like, free. And I'm like, well, where is it? And she's like, Utah. And I'm like, this sounds like a Learning Annex ripoff, you know? So I was like, I'll call you back. And then I said to Robert, hey, I got this call from, you know, this woman, Michelle Satter from Sundance. And he's like, you should call her back. So I ended up getting to go there, and you go with, they bring 11 writers a year.
Okay.
And like my roommate was Sterling Harjo, who's got the show Reservation Dogs now.
Yeah.
He was my roommate at the time. He's from Oklahoma. And so they bring 12 people from all around the world, and you get mentored. And the first, you know, I had Frank Pearson assigned to me, who wrote Dog Day Afternoon, and Carlos Cuarón, Y Tu Mama También, and then Walter Mosley, who's an incredible writer.
Wow.
So it was pretty incredible.
What an experience.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, anybody that gets a chance, if you're writing something, look it up, sundance.org.
Yeah.
I'm not an advocate. I don't get paid by them, but it changed my life.
Wow, wow. Very cool. That's a sweet story.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Your films often have a strong sense of place. What's a location you haven't filmed in yet but would love to?
Oh, I never know. I mean, I've been in Italy, in a town called Calabria for the last 4 months, working on something that we might film. Hopefully, I mean, we go back and forth. It's crazy. And that's pretty nuts. I mean, it's a ghost town with 3 people in it. So
wow,
I can't beat
Are the
that.
3 people your friends now?
No, I don't know. Well, yeah, to some degree. One lady has like 40 goats, and I'm trying to talk her into letting us shoot her and her goats, and it's very difficult. You know, she doesn't like the crowds. You know.
Oh, okay. So we talked about how you've worked with so many incredible actors and like really big names. Has anyone ever surprised you with their performance in a way you didn't expect?
Yeah, almost every one of them. You know, I'm always surprised. I mean, oh gosh. I mean, Terrence Howard is probably one of my favorite actors and friends. I love him. He's such a weird trip, you know, and you never know what he's going to decide to do. And we did a movie together, and he had been watching, it's a weird reference, but in Midnight Cowboy, if you there's a great story, because I remember talking to Terrence, because this character that I had written was not like this. Terrence is such a suave, kind of good-looking kind of guy, and I wrote a rundown guy, and he had brought up this great story of Dustin Hoffman when they were doing Midnight Cowboy, who said, if you take like an eighth of an inch off your step when you walk down the street, every bit of cool leaves you. And so Terrence was like, I'm going to take an eighth off the step if you're worried that I'm too cool for this role.
That's funny.
And it's
I like
really
that.
remarkable what it does to you as an actor, you know. So that was pretty fun. Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Fun little remedy.
Okay. I also have here that one of your favorite directors is Brian De Palma. Is that true?
I mean, I love Carlito's Way. It's probably my favorite movie of all time, yeah.
What about his filmmaking inspires you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the craft that well. I just like the movies, you know?
But that's me. I mean, like, I say this all the time. I host a film podcast. I didn't study film. I just like movies.
Good.
Like,
yeah.
that's kind of the point, honestly, of this show is, like, we're not being pretentious about movies.
Oh, sure.
At all. Like, we just
you got the right guess, because I wouldn't know how to be.
Yeah, like, I mean, sometimes we have people, and I'm, like, smiling and nodding, and I don't know a single director they've mentioned.
Yeah.
But, no, we just like to shoot the shit about movies. I'm just a movie love. I just like to watch them. You know.
Great. Well, I watch 90 Day Fiance. So
yeah,
I'm in
I
no
watch Real
position
Housewives.
to be,
You know.
okay, yeah. So I'm in no
We're
position
good.
to be fancy. Yeah.
But I do love Brian De Palma as well. I actually hadn't seen Blowout until this past year though, and I was
I've
like,
never seen it. Okay, so I'm a fraud to say
you're
I'm
not.
such a.
But
Yeah.
Blowout you should see.
John Travolta. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I
yeah.
really liked it. The minute I finished it, I was like, "Yep, that's my type of movie."
Okay,
it's
okay.
good.
Well, then I shouldn't say I love him the best. If
You
I
can
haven't
say
seen
whatever
that.
you want.
Yeah, no, but I just love that he you never know, his movies are so different all the time.
Yeah.
There's not one way to I'm always like, oh, he did that? That's pretty cool. you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, I love so many filmmakers.
Yeah. Who what's like a genre of film you like to consume?
Oh, I love thrillers.
Yeah.
And they don't make them. I like Morgan Freeman, white girl serial killer. Or Ashley Judd, black guy serial killer. There's always like this, they used to have this model and it was always terrible, but I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So
I get that completely.
I miss thrillers. Yeah.
I do love a thriller.
Yeah.
There's this one movie that's a thriller that I really love, and I never hear people talk about it. Have you ever seen the movie The Game?
Yeah.
I love The Game. I
It's a
think
great
that
movie.
to me is a great thriller. I think
Oh,
it's a great
totally.
movie.
Sean Penn. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And
yeah.
it takes place in San Francisco, and that's where I used to live. And I love any movie that like I can be like, I know where that is.
Yeah,
You know?
that is fun. Oh, I love The Game. Yeah.
Okay, so since you have a background in music and like punk rock, have you ever seen the movie SLC Punk by chance?
I've not, and I know of it, of course.
Like the green
I
mohawk.
I can see the
with
poster for
Matthew
it. but
Lillard. Is it Lillard? Lillard. Matthew Lillard.
It's horrible that I haven't seen it.
No, you
but-
should see it.
Okay.
That's another movie that I only just recently watched, and I'm like, this is so funny, and I bet anyone with coming from that world would like get a kick out of it.
Okay, yeah.
It's very kind of like he talks to the camera. It's a little bit like mockumentary, but obviously it's acting.
Sure.
And actually, they're in Utah, which is funny because it's like the SLC
Right.
Salt Lake City.
That's great. Yeah. No, I remember like Decline of the Western Civilization. That was a big one when I was a kid. You know, the first one. It was all like Black Flag and all that.
Yeah. What's a film someone wouldn't expect you to like, but you do?
I love this movie with Richard Gere and.
We can look at. I'll have someone look it up.
Okay, Richard Gere and his wife cheats on him, and then he kills the guy with a globe, a snow globe. Unfaithful.
Okay. Is it a rom-com? Well, I guess that doesn't seem very calm. No? Erotic thriller. Yeah, so you like a thriller.
Yeah, it's a thrill. Yeah, so maybe they wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, but it's I love that movie. Yeah.
Cool. I have to watch it.
Oh, it's good. It has one of the best sound effects. Like when he hits the guy with a snow globe and he dies.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna watch it. What is a movie that comes to mind of like something that you could just like rewatch forever? There's never too many times.
Well, I love Once Upon a Time in America only because I could put it on anywhere and shut it off anywhere.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that part of it. You know, like it doesn't matter if I don't know what's going on. It's
Yeah.
The music and everything. It's Ennio Morricone is the composer. I'm obsessed with composers, and
Cool.
he is Terrence Blanchard and him are my two favorite ever. So yeah, that's a part that I might know a little bit.
Yeah. Well, coming from New York, like what movies come to mind that you think like depict New York pretty well and accurately?
Oh gosh, I mean, I love Spike Lee films because I think of Spike Lee like it's kind of like a Van Morrison record to me. Like even if I don't like the record, there's one song on it that was worth it for me.
Totally.
And that Spike Lee, no matter what the movie is, even if people can say whatever they want, for one scene, I could love having seen it just for that scene. And of course, he's got New York down. Woody Allen, of course. I mean, all the usual suspects have New York pretty down. Yeah. Because I get really offended when they screw up New York.
Yeah. I bet.
It really bugs me. This forget about it stuff, please. I'm going to kill myself if one more person says that in a movie. Not that people don't say it, but I just can't take it.
It's overdone.
It's overdone.
If you could direct a biopic of any musician, who would you choose?
Oh, I don't know. It's too difficult.
Would you want to do a biopic?
It's so difficult. I mean, it's funny that we're talking about the Bad Brains here because your guy here is HR's godson, which to me is pretty incredible. I think it's so hard. It's like a few people and a friend of mine, Mandy, had done a documentary on the Bad Brains, and it feels to me like it's so hard to harness that thing if you were not there, whatever it is. So it seems like such a giant.
Yeah.
It's like taking a picture of the Grand Canyon and you show it to people and no one cares. You're like, it's really big. And they're like, yeah, whatever. It's like, no, you have to be there. So biopics scare me in that sense that, I don't know.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
I can't think of somebody offhand.
I also like that analogy. That was a good analogy. Okay, we're now going to get into your movie, and then we'll have like one game, and then
Perfect.
yeah. So we are chatting about RIFF RAFF. By the time the listener is hearing this, it'll be streaming already.
Perfect. Love it.
I have a little
Stream away.
Yeah, I have a little synopsis for it. A former criminal's ordinary life turns upside down when his old family shows up for a long-awaited reunion. And it stars Bill Murray, Jennifer Coolidge, Pete Davidson, Gabrielle Union, Ed Harris, and Lewis Pullman. Another stacked cast. And Jennifer Coolidge is such a cool character to have in, or person to have in here.
Character for sure.
Yeah, she's a character. I read in like a quote that you said that that character reminds you a bit of your sister. Was that right?
My sister Dee Dee, a little bit.
Yeah?
A little bit, yeah.
What about, and I have here, she reminds you of Coolidge and Fran Lebowitz. Is that what you said?
Yeah, my sister's kind of like Fran Lebowitz, like a really trippy, pantsuit type of
I'm like a
trip.
huge Fran fan.
Oh, right? Okay. Well,
I just love her attitude. I love that she's so like, says it how it is, doesn't give a fuck. A true New Yorker.
Yeah, my sister would be that person, yeah. Add Virginia Slims. I'm not sure if Fran Lebowitz smokes Virginia Slims, but yeah. Virginia Slims would be my sister's version. But yeah, it was originally written as a play by a guy named John Polano, and I thought it was so exciting.
Oh, I could totally see this being a play.
Yeah, it was supposed to all be in a room.
Yeah.
You know? And so we messed around with it a bit, and I kept thinking, who's Ruth, And I'm always the last person to know who anyone is, so I was watching White Lotus like the rest of the world, and I had been thinking that the character, as written, made me think of like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but everybody was Virginia Woolf. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who's Virginia Woolf? Who could be that person? And I'm watching White Lotus, and I'm like, this lady's really good. And my wife was like, that's Stifler's mom, And I didn't know who Stifler's mom was, I'm the last person on earth who didn't know who Jennifer Coolidge was, but I thought she was so great. I was like, funny. She's really good. And I since have learned that she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And then luckily she came on to do it, and I love her to death. Yeah.
Incredible.
You should get her in here one day. She would.
I would die. Yeah, she's so funny.
Yes.
And what's cool about her too is that she kind of like crosses over generations. Like so many different generations are fans of hers. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she is like just millennials or just like everyone likes her.
Yeah, it's a trip. People like that, I worked with Robin Williams, and I remember thinking like every generation grew up with a different Robin Williams, and they all love him, but it's a different version.
Yeah.
So it's quite remarkable.
So insane. Yeah, Robin Williams. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know where Riff Raff originated from. You said it was originally supposed to be a play. How did you get connected to it?
There's an actor named PJ Ransone that I love, and he called and he said, hey, come check this out. I think you'll enjoy it. And so I met John, the writer, and so I was listening to it, and I thought, oh, maybe we could figure this out. So it was a wild trip. They always are a weird trip. How anything gets made is beyond belief.
So funny.
But yeah, so then it was just, once Jennifer Coolidge came on board, then Ed Harris, funny enough, back to the Sundance Labs, he was an advisor of mine too.
Oh, wow.
And I still had his email from all these years.
I could see you two hitting it off.
Yeah, I love him. And of course, one of the greatest actors ever.
Yeah.
So I sent him an email and I said, hey, I'm hoping to do this movie with Jennifer Coolidge, and I think it's good. And, this is a fun role. It's kind of like Virginia Woolf. And he wrote me back and said, let me read it. And read it. And he loves Jennifer Coolidge. So he said, okay, let's give it a shot. So then it starts to become something that might actually happen.
That's sweet. Also, is the writer, I may have gotten this wrong, but I was going down a rabbit hole of looking up like the actors and the people. Is the writer for this movie also an actor?
Yeah.
I think that he was in one of our prior guests' movies. We had a guest on the podcast, Austin Peters, and he directed a movie called Skincare.
Okay.
And Lewis Pullman is in it with the writer of your film.
Really?
Yeah.
How random. Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I could be just like making facts up, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, go with it.
I'm pretty sure the two of them acted in that movie, and it's like our
trippy.
prior guests' movie.
Oh, very cool. And I love Lewis Pullman.
He's a perfect pick for that role. So in this movie, without giving too much away, he's the son who's kind of like, I don't know, trying to prove something to his dad, but then he's like getting himself in like a predicament. And he just feels like, I don't know, he just does a really good job of being that kind of character where he's lovable, but he's like a little bit making not the best choices. You know what I mean?
Clearly, yeah. It doesn't work out well, but I just love him. I think he's a really special actor,
Your films often explore themes of identity, redemption, survival. How does Riff Raff fit into that?
Well, it kind of does a bit of all that, you know. I mean, the weird thing is, marketing is such a weird trip. You know, they market it as a comedy. I guess it's funny. I mean, I think it is funny. I mean, I remember reading
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. No, I remember reading it and I thought it was funny. But I always try to think of the characters in it, and I thought, well, if I'm in this family, I don't think it's very funny. Yeah. So I got excited about the realness of them, and the first thing I remember thinking of. A scene that wasn't written, but we ended up just shooting a quick. When I was thinking of my sister and all that, and Jennifer Coolidge, I was thinking of a scene where she's looking at all the things she can't have, which Sandy, the new wife, Gabrielle Union, has all this, you know, money, I guess, or whatever you call it, luxury. And so we shot this scene just before lunch one day. I was like, hey, Jennifer, let's just shoot this weird thing where you're looking at all her expensive makeup and products and things. And that I think covers all that redemption and these. I just wanted to see real people in this. Totally. Even though it's funny and a lot of violence and all that craziness, I just wanted to at least recognize them as human beings. So.
And that is, I was thinking about this too, like my parents are still together, but like just like the idea of your parents splitting or not being together anymore, or one parent just kind of like starts a new family and then it's the past kid or the past wife having to like see this other life that one parent has moved on. And I just like, it's an interesting dynamic that so many people can resonate with, you know?
Yeah, no, certainly.
Yeah. What films would you compare this to in terms of just like style, tone? Like if you could think of a movie you felt like maybe a little similar?
This movie? Oh, I don't know. It was so odd that I couldn't really get my head around. You know, I remember thinking like, I don't know if it's funny or it's serious. Or,
well, to me, it felt like a little bit almost like a Coen Brothers movie because it's like a crime, but it's also just a little bit like a little goofy.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely, yeah.
And you have Pete did I even say? Yeah, I said Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
You have Pete Davidson and Bill Murray, like their dynamic of their duo.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit funny, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no. And when you asked before who surprised you, both those guys really surprised me because they came on like a week before filming. And, you know, it was kind of weird because, you know, I was thinking, oh, wow, you know, that'll be trippy, you know? Like,
yeah, because they're just such different people, too.
Totally different. But, I mean, you know, pizza, talk about
did you talk about New York
cinephile.
with Pete? You two are both like...
Yeah, he's from Staten Island.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
from Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, he's a super cinephile guy. He'll drop all those names that I don't know what he's talking about. But he's a super fan of film and really thinks about it. So, not that I should be surprised. You know, these people, they get to where they get, usually not by just being what we think they are, you know? But him and Bill were like, oh, wow, like they're really here to do something special. It was my take on it. They're very serious about it, which I love, you know?
That's sweet.
It is, yeah, it's nice, you know, because, you know, I don't know what your perception is or mine was, you know, you never know who these people are. You know them from movies or TV, so you're like, okay, what are we going to do here, you know? But I was really pleasantly surprised. With
they were a cool duo,
yeah,
for sure.
They're very good, yeah.
Without spoiling too much, because ideally the listener, I would say, like, would listen to this episode and then maybe go watch the movie.
Okay.
What is a moment in the film that you were particularly proud of?
I like when the family literally kills each other. So, if I gave it away, I'm sorry. Yeah. So,
that is a good.
Sorry to blow the ending, but yeah, they do kill each other. Yeah.
That was funny. If you were to describe your film in 3 words, how would you describe it?
Oh gosh. Okay, I already used. Oh gosh. Fun. I don't know. I you know. Hope you like.
Hope you. Okay. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now we're going to just play this one last game.
Okay.
I'm going to just say different words, and then you have to come up with an actor that you think of in relation to the word. And, like, again, no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
Just whatever pops in your head. So first we have haunting.
Roger Guinevere Smith. Do you know Roger? I've worked with him many times. He lives around
let me
here.
look him up.
He's haunting.
Roger.
He's the
How
best.
do I even spell that?
Guinevere, Roger is easy. Guinevere, Guinevere. Envere Smith.
Oh wait, it came. Okay, let's see.
I've had him in 4 movies. He's
Oh yeah.
He's
I know this is.
Malcolm from Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Roger's like, he's haunting because you really never know what you're gonna get with him, like ever. It's impossible. I actually, he's one of the best actors I've ever seen, and he's almost incapable of doing something the same way twice.
You know what's funny? Like, I don't know how this never dawned on me, but I took an acting class this past year.
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing scenes, and I was watching everyone like do their scene, then do it different, then do it different, and I just like kept doing it how I'd practiced.
The same way.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't even think that you were like allowed to do.
Oh, the nerve of
I'm
you,
like,
right? Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's like the point. I didn't get it.
Oh yeah, no. To me, it's been on the job learning making movies, so it's been a really weird trip. But
Yeah.
I'm always surprised. You
That's
never know,
cool.
because some actors are that way. They
Yeah.
come in and they know the way they want to do it, and it is
Yeah.
what it is. And sometimes they're incredible like that, you know. But Roger is not that. He is haunting.
He's haunting.
Yeah.
Okay, wacky.
Wacky. Okay, well, I hate to use a word like wacky about anybody because
It's not a bad thing.
Well, wacky. Wacky.
Like, I'd say Jennifer Coolidge is wacky.
Yeah, I would say trippy, but yeah. I
Okay.
mean, because she's more calculated than people might think. And,
Totally.
But PJ Byrne, I would think, is
Wacky?
He's one of my. I mean, I love PJ Byrne. He plays one of the neighbors in this movie.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. And PJ is like, you just literally, you can think you wrote genius at 2 a.m. or whatever your incredible script is. He's gonna hand it to him, and it's gonna. He's
Yeah, did he ad-lib? Or did
Well,
the neighbors
he's-
ad-lib at all?
a little, because he's incapable of not doing it.
Yeah.
He's on fire. That's all
Yeah.
I can say. And yeah, if you hand something to anybody who's making a film, you would be so lucky to get PJ Byrne to do anything. He will rip it to shreds, and it's just he's the greatest. So yes, wacky, I guess, is a word for him.
Underrated.
Well, I'm trying to get fancy here, and I don't know. I think Ray Sharkey is his name. He was from The Idolmaker.
Let's look it up.
And someone, I think Al Pacino brought him up once, and I felt embarrassed that I didn't know who he was. So I looked him up, and he said, "Watch The Idolmaker," and I thought, I couldn't believe what a good actor he was.
Yeah,
And
Ray Sharkey.
his story is incredible. I mean, he died of AIDS, and it's this remarkable story with him. But he's very sick. But yeah, I'd say maybe underrated is not the right word, but he's not very well known for someone that was that talented. That probably would have been the biggest star in the world, but didn't work out. You know.
Stoic.
What my experience working with Robert Downey was interesting in that sense because it was really odd because the subject matter of that film was so close to home for me.
Yeah.
You know, he did a scene in it, and I just love what he did. I mean, I know I sound like so corny talking how much I love actors. How freaking annoying.
I don't think that's corny.
But I would hate it if I was watching some director saying that. But Robert, he's the whole reason I'm here. I mean, really. I mean, I didn't plan to be in this. My father's a typewriter mechanic, you know. But he we did a scene together. Stoic, I guess, comes to mind because he does a scene where he's talking to his father and he's supposed to leave the room, and when he was leaving, he very seriously like smiled and walked out. And I thought it was the rudest thing I ever saw in my life. I remember saying like, how could you do that? You know, like it's so rude, you know? It was stoic might not be the word, but it was so still, you know? And he said, well, what do you think I should do? I'm like, I don't know, I wouldn't smile. So he did it once without a smile, but then in the edit room we used the smile because that's him, you know? So it showed me again why, you know, you don't know everything, that's for sure. But also it was maybe stoic isn't the right word for it, but he was very stoic in that smile.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
No, I get
think
that.
of that. It was unexpected. in that
Yeah.
way. Yeah. He's a very good actor, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not the first person to say that. Yeah.
No, I think you are. I'm just kidding.
Really incredible. Well, let me be the person.
Charming.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they all are. It's quite remarkable, right? Movie stars are weird like that. You know, they have a thing. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know what it is. You know. Okay, I wish I would take stoic back because I would go back to Robert with charming because that guy can charm the pants off anybody. You know, it's like I remember he's like a charming. They're all charming. Every actor's charming.
We can
Every movie star is charming.
We can leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Yeah, I'd be shocked if they weren't, or maybe they're awful, and that's what they're good at.
Yeah, they're acting.
Charmingly awful. Yeah. Awfully charming.
Awfully charming. That seems like a movie title. Awfully charming.
Probably exists. Yeah.
Transformative.
I'm saying the same people. Roger makes me think of the guy. Such a chameleon. Let me think. Who's transformed? I mean, I guess. Oh. Robin Williams is pretty. Oh yeah, trippy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can't get over that.
Yeah, he's incredible, and I loved working with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a trip. He in the movie that we did was very serious, no joking at all. So it was odd because he used to call me the fun police. He'd be like, "Oh, here comes the fun police," because Robin, I don't know if you'd be joking, He's like. I was like, you're coming home late at night. You've been in a motel all night, and your wife doesn't know. He's like, I've done the research, boss. So, but he was really remarkable in the sense that, like, not anything I expected. He is that guy that you've seen on David Letterman many times. Like the minute you say cut, that guy.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. I mean, we were shooting all night, and we had like, a whole scene, and he's out there. I don't know what the hell he was doing. It's insane. He can hold the audience, but then he will transfer in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
The movie's dead serious, and he's dead serious.
Yeah.
And it's freaking almost scary and weird in that sense, because as much as he was wacky in that sense or tripped out, I always like to mess things up because I don't put marks down when I film. You want to walk around, you want to leave the room, leave. I got a microphone on you. I don't care, It's our job to find you, And I try to mess them up when they get too used to stuff. And with Robin, I remember he was coming into the kitchen to do a scene. So I changed everything really quickly. And he comes in and he just froze. He's like, "Why are the dishes not there?" And he walked out.
Oh, wow.
It's
very funny. Yeah.
So he's transformative, I guess, like that. I mean, every role you see him, it's completely a different human being.
Totally.
But
what you're saying about him is interesting because that's kind of the vibe I got when I watched the documentary about him too. And I also do feel like people who are comedians are mostly like that, where like when they're done performing, they're not gonna be a comic 24/7.
Oh, no, he was.
Really?
24/7. It never ended.
Really?
Oh no, he was the opposite. He was serious when you film, but the minute you're not.
Really?
Yeah. We have videos of him.
How
at
funny.
3 a.m. in Nashville. We were filming, and he's just like doing his version of hip hop, human, beatbox machine. I mean, it was a nightmare, but it was freaking great.
Yeah,
it was like
so
it
funny.
never ends.
Yeah.
It went on and on. Yeah. So.
Okay, well, that is all I have games and questions wise. Was there anything else you wanted to share about your movie to wrap it up?
No, I'm excited that it's streaming or wherever it is at this point in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we even know where can people watch it? Like on stream, we don't know.
Well, it's in theaters now, but by the time this thing happens, it'll be
streaming.
I think Hulu's whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Somewhere.
Okay, well, I guess you said you potentially have an upcoming project.
Yeah.
But what's on the horizon for you?
Just writing. I always write. So we'll see what happens,
And if anyone listening ever wants to like get in touch or find you or find your work.
Send me some weird thing on Instagram. Everybody does
love
anyway.
It.
Everyone's like, I know somebody who killed the guy. You should make a movie. I'm like, all right. Maybe I don't want to respond to this person, but usually I'll say hello.
Okay, cool. So a DM.
Say hello.
Okay,
yeah.
amazing.
I'm out there.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on. I had a lot of fun.
Cool. All right, me too. All right, thanks, Hill.
Good evening.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. To stay in touch, follow our Instagram page at It's Intermission Time and share with your friends. As always, Intermission is produced by Jazeel Chu and Olivia Dean, and of course, hosted by yours truly, Megan Braun. This episode is brought to you by The Synagogue.